Gottlieb System 80 driver board, which remained the same across System 80, 80A, and 80B. They did change how lamp 2 and lamp 3, or what lamp 2 and lamp 3 drive, but that's kind of inconsequential. What I want to show you here is how to test the various transistors that are on this board. So let's start with MPSA 13. This is one of the lamp driver transistors, meter set to diode check. And for an MPSA 13, and I know this because I've done this a million times, is you put the red lead on the center leg and the black lead on each flanking leg. On one leg you'll read 0.714 or thereabouts, and the other leg will read about 1.3, let's call it. Now these readings are, I guess, average, and you can expect different readings sometimes, like we just recognized right there. Those readings are just fine for these two transistors. Readings, if you get 0 on either leg, the transistor's bad, take it out and replace it. MPS U45, which is used to drive bigger devices or more than one lamp, is tested in the same way. Well, not quite the same way. Well, the same way. Put the red lead on the center leg. Easier said than done. This is one I've taken out. And the black lead on each flanking leg. You can see I got 0.7 on that leg. And on the other leg I get 1.3. So this transistor is good also. One thing that's different about this transistor though is you cannot use the tab to test. You see, that was a bogus test result. Tip 102, and this is a 2N6043, which is a substitute for tip 102, the other way around. These came on the Gottlieb System 80 driver boards. Always replace those with tip 102s. For tip 102s, you always put the black lead on the tab and then the red lead on the flanking legs, and that is a valid reading. This is not a valid reading. This should be the same, or approximately the same, 0.6 or so as the other leg. So that tip 102 is, or 2N6043, same as a tip 102. It's bad. I've replaced it. Now let's move on to these 2N3055s, and I'm doing it from the back. These are the CAN transistors. I can never remember how to test these, so I may get this backwards, but no, I got it the right way. So it's red on this leg, however you want to remember that in your mind, and black on the other leg is one test, and then this is the other test. You move the black probe to one of the screws. So that is a good transistor. Now let's go down to this one, which looks a little more dubious. That's a good reading, and that's a good reading. So this is fairly characteristic of System 80 driver boards. Is at some point these 2N3055s will fail, and they will scorch the board, and they'll look horrible. Yet they still work. Now somebody at one point in time has raised this one up on stilts, and that's just fine. It probably should have been done that way from the factory, but anyway, that's a good transistor. Here's the an example of an MPSA 13, MPS U45, 2N3055, and the 2N6043s. There are at least 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. These 2 are pre-drivers for the big CAN transistors. And this transistor on Gottlieb System 80 games, I'll say, almost always drives the knocker. It's probably always drives the knocker, but I can't be sure. There you go. Here is the driver board I used to make the how to test Gottlieb transistors video, and we can see in attract mode that all of the lamps on this Gottlieb Robo Wars that I still have to restore are in fact functioning. So let's go into test, and we'll go right to solenoid test. And when I tested this before, solenoid 8, the knocker, was not working. we go. Good strong knocker. So that is this 2N6043 that's hiding behind this wire bundle is responsible for the knocker. Now let's return to lamp test. And this is why I say this isn't that useful. I'm not sure what Gottlieb was thinking when they designed that lamp test. But what we can say is that all the circuits on this driver board are now fully functional. Bingo. Don't need to test the switches. Those are on a solenoid, so we are good to go.